Top 15 shocking pictures of aliens that just might be real. 15. Thoughtful alien on Mars. This photo was actually captured by NASA, which immediately increases its legitimacy. It was taken from a January 2004 expedition in which NASA sent two robotic explorers, belovedly named Spirit and Opportunity, to Mars in order to look for previous signs of water on the planet. Water, as most of us know, means that life as we know it can potentially occur. It turns out that our robot friends found more than they bargained for. This image was taken by Spirit, and was sent back to the NASA headquarters. It appears to be a human-shaped figure sitting on a pile of rocks on Mars, apparently contemplating something of great significance. Could be human, except it's Mars, and it doesn't exactly appear to be wearing a helmet. The US government claimed that the image is just a collection of shadows and rocks, but it's hard to unnotice the fact that that thing looks like a dude. 14. Atta. The Atacama skeleton, or Atta, is the 6-inch-long skeletal remains of a humanoid figure found in a Chilean town in the Atacama Desert in 2003. Atta was covered in the film Sirius, a documentary produced by ufologist Stephen M. Greer based on his book Hidden Truth, Forbidden Knowledge. The widespread attention that Atta received from several reputable sources has more or less confirmed that the skeleton is not an elaborate fake. Scientists have studied Atta, and have arrived at the consensus that it is human. Some believe it to be the remains of someone who suffered serious dwarfism, while others think it is an unborn fetus. We find both of those theories to be completely unsatisfactory. Show us a 6-inch tall dwarf, and maybe we'll talk. Show us a fetus who can survive in a relatively preserved state in a Chilean desert, and who looks like a friggin' alien, and maybe we can talk some more. Seriously, just look at that thing. It's an alien. 13. Friendly handshake. After a hard day's work of finding out the secrets of the universe, the best thing to do is to shake your little extraterrestrial buddy's hand, and thank him for sharing his insight with our humble race. That's what seems to be going on here, anyway. A soldier is snapped in a friendly handshake with a little gray alien, and a person who appears to be a doctor or some sort of mad scientist stands with his hand outstretched, waiting his turn. Who knows what these men, and this alien, discussed before the picture was taken, and who knows where they went or what they did after. We sure would have loved to eavesdrop on that conversation. They were probably talking about wormholes, and comparing the Coca-Cola back at Sirius to the one on Earth. Maybe the alien showed them some pictures of some hot alien babes back home. If this is not interplanetary diplomacy, we're not sure what is. 12. Who's out there? We would think that, given how aliens can potentially be billions of years more evolved than we are, there would probably be a good chance that they grew past the need to shield their eyes from a considerably bright light. Apparently not, as the photo above suggests. We weren't able to dig up much info on this piece of footage other than the fact that it was taken in London, England, in the year 1999. The alien appears to be green here, giving some validity to the term little green man, although its color is probably due to the fact that the picture was taken in night vision. While we're not sure whether or not this is valid proof of extraterrestrial life, this content does bring up a few questions. What was the alien doing in that building? Was it acting as a lookout? If so, what sort of no-good were he and his alien companion up to? With eyes that big, how sensitive are they to light? So many questions, so few aliens around to answer them. 11. Super Saiyan alien. This photo was taken by an alleged abductee outside at night. We can observe that the supposed alien's body is glowing in a bright orange light, as if it just went Super Saiyan. The glow seems to be emanating from the figure's back, and not from its front. The alien shown here could actually be glowing from the evolved strength of its chakras, or it could be some photographic trick. Who knows? Maybe that orange light wasn't even visible to the abductee who was with the alien in person, it might only have been picked up by the camera. Regardless, if we saw something like this, we'd probably run in the opposite direction as fast as we could, so as not to get kamehameha'd. Is this a picture of an alien? Let's just say that we can't argue against it being possible. Can this have been Photoshop? No, that's absolutely impossible. 10. Roswell? Will we ever find concrete evidence that aliens crashed in Roswell? All self-respecting ufologists know all about the Roswell crash of 1947. That is to say, they know all about how they know nothing about it. It's just one of those blatantly obvious significant occurrences that the government was quick to sweep up, which of course lead to more mass curiosity over the event that did nothing but snowball as the decades passed. Since the incident, we have seen several alleged leaks of the alien bodies that were recovered from the crash site, this being one of them. In the photograph above, an alien appears to be lying either dead or seriously injured on a hospital bed, with a masked doctor creeping in the corner. The alien looks like it's of the classic gray variety that we're so familiar with, although the picture is black and white, so we can't be certain. 9. Alien autopsy. If you were a mad neuroscientist, and you had the tragically deceased body of an extraterrestrial gentleman or gentlewoman on your operating table, wouldn't you find some excitement at the thought of cutting open that alien skull and seeing what an otherworldly brain would look like? Well, you can exactly answer that, since you're probably not a mad neuroscientist. If you are, we are infinitely sorry for our presumptions, but it looks like this doctor is certainly thinking about nothing but alien brains in this photograph. This is a piece of visual content from the 1966 UFO crash in a dissect of the former Yugoslavia Federation. Though we can't say for an absolute fact that it's a true alien lying dead on the table, this picture is definitely not a staged one. It shows an actual autopsy. The military claims that the body belongs to a soldier who was deformed by flames during the crash, but the alien physique of the figure we're looking at in the picture leads us to doubt that very much. 8. Arctic alien. This is a picture submitted to ufocasebook.com due to what the photographers noticed in the background. In this case, we actually have some comment from the image's source, granted to us by the website. We didn't really take the picture for the alien, we realized afterwards that it was there. We were over the Arctic Circle, and we were alone, no one within 50 kilometers. We were traveling in a snowmobile. What you see as the main subject of the photograph is an iced-over river. After a request for further comment, the photographer went on to say, "I don't really have much more details on that day. I can say that it was a snowmobile ride with some friends. We were 200 kilometers up to North Circle, between Sverige and Norway. The nearest city was Kiruna. The photo was taken with a Nikon 5400 with no zoom, and it was around midday of the 20th of December 2005. Nothing strange happened. It was minus 20 degrees Celsius, and silence all around with some wild animals. That's all." We realized there was something showing in the photos some months later when a friend of ours kept saying there was something strange in that brush. 7. Roswell again? Out of all the pictures on this list, this one certainly looks the most human. In fact, it looks a lot like our old Uncle Steve, taking a long nap. Uncle Steve's head tends to get about that size when he's near the end of one of his benders. Although, that's probably not Uncle Steve. Who it is exactly, we're not sure, but what you're looking at there is allegedly another picture of one of the aliens recovered from the Roswell crash, one of the 3 on this list. All 3 look significantly different, so unless the Roswell aliens were a road-tripping trio from 3 vastly different planets, we doubt that they're all genuine. Still, one of them just might be. We'll leave it up to you to decide. If it does turn out to be our Uncle Steve, please let us know so we can send a car for him. 6. Cursed photo. This picture shows a little gray figure with a disproportionately large head staring right into the photographer's camera lens. Or, at least, it looks like it's staring through. We can't really see its size. What is this quaint little figure in the photograph? An alleged alien, of course, otherwise it wouldn't quite have a place on this list. Although the photo was only seen by the public for the first time in 2003, it is said by its source to be over 70 years old, was taken by his grandfather in Alaska and was given to him the day before his grandfather died. All background information surrounding the photo is shrouded in complete mystery, since the original source of the photograph also died one day after he released it. Sounds like a conspiracy theorist's delight. Anyway, death seems to follow this picture around, so we should probably stop talking about it, like right now. 5. Flashlight, or chi? This is certainly a haunting image. It was taken in High Bridge, New Jersey, and is dated August 2, 1956. It shows a silhouetted figure approaching the cameraman, with a bright light emanating from its left hand. The photo was taken by Howard Menger, who is a well-known UFO contactee among the ufology subculture. Menger has written several books about his space brothers throughout his life. According to him, his alien friends would take Menger and his wife along for a ride through space, and show him their bases on Venus and the Moon. Apparently, this is a photo that Menger took of one of his friends. Of course, given how unclear the image is, it could be a picture of several things. Sure, it might be an alien with a bright aura coming from its hand, or it might also be Menger's wife approaching him with a flashlight. Who knows? We won't take a guess one way or the other. 4. Roswell once more. This slide features the apparent decomposed, skeletal body of a small alien. The alien in question has an abnormally large head in comparison with its small stature, or, at least, small compared to the average human. It appears to be a photo taken of some sort of museum exhibition, though we're not sure where in the world this museum is located, or if it's even in a museum at all. Allegedly, this is a photograph of the body of one of the Roswell aliens who supposedly crash-landed during an interplanetary expedition in Roswell, New Mexico, in the 1947. There are several photographs that claim to show species from that crash landing, and not all of them can possibly be accurate. However, for all we know, this picture is actually the truth, and we're actually looking at the decomposed skeleton of someone from another planet. Unlikely, but quite possible. 3. What is this? Dear God, what in the world is this? This looks like some footage taken right out of a 90s indie horror film. Except, this was on the actual news, so it must be real. Of course, anything that was ever on the news could be considered nothing but genuinely, truly real. Anyway, the picture shows a horrific raid, werewolf-like alien figure crawling towards the camera. Apparently, a family's hiking gear was completely destroyed one night during a camping trip by an unknown creature. There was a camera rolling overnight that caught the crouched, seemingly bloated alien-like figure. It looks sinister as anything to us. Is it planning on eating humans, or asking them for help? Who knows? It definitely looks like someone who was just interrupted while they were in the bathroom taking a number 2. Do aliens even take number 2? Email us and let us know. 2. Legit. This image is a still shot of a well-known YouTube video showing an alien that seems to be working some sort of machine, perhaps in a UFO. There's a lot of misleading visual content out there when it comes to aliens, but this picture, along with the video it was sourced from, shows an extremely realistic-looking alien specimen. Its movements flow far too perfectly for us to think that there's any CGI at play here. If it's actually a human being wearing a mask, then that is one heck of a well-designed alien mask. Really, this is one of the most convincing pieces of visual evidence for aliens on this list. We find ourselves wanting some more footage of this particular case, but there doesn't seem to be any additional content available online. We'll just cross our fingers and wish upon a star that this specimen might appear to us one day, and preferably shake our hand rather than zap our eyeballs out of their sockets. 1. Deep. This is another still from a YouTube video. The video in question is a supposed leaked interview between a government agent working at Area 51, and a gray alien they had in their custody. In it, the government agent asks the alien questions about its adventures and the general meaning of life, death and the universe, and the alien answers in turn. The alien's voice is incredibly deep and sounds quite monstrous, although the nature of its responses are quite meaningful and uplifting. Well, except for the part where he glosses over a nuclear war on Earth. C. The alien states that he is in fact an Earthling from the future, who traveled back in time to observe us. Evidence of our time was destroyed through nuclear war. He goes on to say that the nature of the universe is known. There are many universes, ours being one of them, suitable to contain what we know as life. Also, he mentions that death as we understand it does not exist. Every consciousness will go on and has went on to experience every instance of life through every possible lens in the universe. Not a bad deal, if you ask us.